morning, students. Today we are going to see the classification of animal kingdom. Before we start the classification of animal kingdom, we are going to see what are the criteria they used for classifying the animal kingdom. Animal kingdom is one of the five kingdom system, one of the five kingdoms. Okay, the last one is animal kingdom. So in animal kingdom, while classifying animal kingdom, they consider certain criteria for classification. Cell, whether they are unicellular or multicellular. All the animals which are under unicellular, protozoa, they are kept under protozoa. They are given a separate kingdom for that. Okay, Porifera, Monera, protozoa. Okay. Then all the multicellular are kept under Eumetazoa. Okay. Then symmetry. What is symmetry? The division of the body. If the body can be divided into equal parts, the organism is said to be symmetrical. If the body cannot be divided into equal parts, then it is said to be asymmetrical. For example, amoeba, if you take, you cannot divide the body into equal parts. It is asymmetrical. Okay. In the symmetrical, the body which can be divided into equal parts, there are two types. If it can be divided into two equal parts at one plane, it is bilateral symmetry. It can be divided into number of equal parts at many planes, it is radial symmetry. Okay, so symmetry also they use for classifying the animal kingdom. Next, body cavity. The body cavity is called coelom. If they have true body cavity, they are all the animals which have true body cavities are called coelomates. All the animals which do not have the body cavity are kept under acoelomates. The body cavity is there, but it is filled with some parenchymatous tissue. Such organisms are kept under pseudocoelomates. So they consider body cavity for classification. Then body wall. Three layers are there in the body wall: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Ectoderm outer layer, middle layer mesoderm, inner layer endoderm. If the body wall has three layers, they are kept under diploblastic. Then if the body wall has two layers, they are kept under diploblastic. Then body temperature. If the body of an organism has a constant temperature, we are all having constant temperature, body temperature. It will not, however the environment changes, our body temperature will be constant. So such organisms, the organisms which have a fixed body temperature are called as warm-blooded animal, homeotherms. The organisms which have fluctuating body temperature, they are kept under poikilotherms, cold-blooded animals. Warm-blooded animals, homeotherms, cold-blooded animals, poikilotherms. Next, reproduction. On the basis of the reproduction, they try to classify the organisms. All the organisms which lay eggs are kept under oviparous. All the organisms which reproduce sexually by giving birth the young ones, viviparous. So, lay eggs, they are oviparous. They give birth the young ones, viviparous. Then on the base of the backbone, the presence and absence of backbone, vertebral column. They are divided the animal kingdom into two categories, vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates have a vertebral column, backbone. Invertebrates will not be having a vertebral column. Okay. So all these are the criteria they use for classifying animal kingdom. Now we are going to see how they classify. Okay. On the basis of presence and absence of backbones, animal kingdom is classified into two main categories, invertebrata and vertebrata. Invertebrata, they do not have the backbone. Vertebrata, they have the backbone. Invertebrata, again, they are classified on the basis of the cellular level, tissue level, organ system level. All the invertebrates which are having one cell, unicellular, multicellular, one cell will be porifera, protozoa, and this porifera includes multicellular. Okay, cellular level they have multicellular. It is not differentiated into tissue. Whereas tissue level, Cnidaria, C will be silent here, Cnidaria, they have the tissue brain, the ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, like that. Body wall is differentiated into different tissue layer. Whereas this cannot be seen here in Porifera. Then organ system level, again all the invertebrates which have organ system level are classified into on the basis of the presence and absence of body cavity into two categories, acoelomates and coelomates. Acoelomates do not have the body cavity, already we have seen. And these acoelomates are further divided into two phylum, Platyhelminthes and Nematoda. The coelomates are divided into four phylum, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata. So all these will come under invertebrates. Vertebrates again they classified into different phylum. Okay. So we are going to see one by one now. Animal kingdom, invertebrates and vertebrates. Invertebrates on the basis of all the criteria they are using here. Cellular level, tissue level, organ system level and body cavity. So all these, backbone, all these criteria they are using for classifying this one. Next we are going to see invertebrates. After finishing invertebrates, we are going to see the phylum in vertebrates. Now we are going to see invertebrata. Invertebrata includes 8 phylum. Phylum Porifera. It shows the tissue grade of organization. Only the tissue is not differentiated, but it is multicellular. Example for Porifera is sponge. Sponge is an example for Porifera. And this, usually all the organisms of Porifera phylum are marine. They don't have a organ system, so they cannot move. They get attached with the stones, rocks seen in the ocean. And the body is seen in colonies. The body, flask shaped body. It has an opening at the top, mouth, and all over the body is covered by calcareous shell because it's living in the marine water. So this body has minute pores also. So the ocean water will enter into this and come out through these holes. Okay. So by the time it enters inside the body cavity, the minute microorganisms which are present in the ocean water will get digested in the body. Okay. So they don't have any organ system, no tissue grade of organization also. They are multicellular. They live in colonies. The next one is Cnidaria. Here it shows two layers in the body wall, ectoderm and endoderm. Mesoderm is just seen as a single layer mesogloia. Okay. So Hydra is an example for Cnidarian. And these Hydra move with the help of tentacles. And it reproduces sexually as well as asexually. So tentacles, organ system, it will come under organ system. So it has two layers in the body wall, moves with the help of tentacles and reproduce through budding. Okay. And next one is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes organ system we can see here. The body is platform. Tapeworm or platform. These are the examples for Platyhelminthes. Phylum Platyhelminthes. It's a parasite. Some of the Platyhelminthes are parasites. Some are very few are free living. And this platform lives in the intestine of the other organisms as a parasite. The body is flat, segmented. It has mouth. That's all, only mouth. And the mouth contains the suckers. So with the help of the suckers, it sucks the nourishment from the host in which it lives. So the body is flat, segmented. Okay. Next comes the nematoda. Roundworm is an example for nematodes. Roundworm also parasite. Here same like this Platyhelminthes. Nematoda also live as parasites as well as free living. Most of them are parasites. Roundworm is a parasite. It is also seen in the intestine, in our intestine. And here we can see male and female separately, male worm and female worm separately. Whereas here we cannot see that sexual dimorphism. Okay, and body is cylindrical, not segmented. It has mouth and anus. Okay, so see slowly, it is a only cellular level, it is a multicellular level, then tissue grade, then organ system. The body is flat and segmented. Here the body is round, not segmented. Both are parasites. Then next comes Annelida. Both have, they do not have the body cavity, so they come under acyanoids. Annelida. Earthworm is an example for Annelida. Entirely developed, fully developed earthworm, it will be having nearly 80 to 100 segments in the body. The body is segmented. The body is cylindrical, segmented, moist. It is free living. Okay, they both are parasites. Here it is free living. And in the 16 to 17, 14 to 17 segments, you can see a thickening called clitellum, which is seen in the breeding season. Okay, and here earthworm, no male earthworm, no female earthworm and all. Earthworm, each earthworm is having both reproductive organs, testis as well as ovary. Okay, so here sexual dimorphism is not seen. Here only one, here two, male and female. Here single earthworm has both male and female sex organs, and it is called as friend of farmers because it used to live freely in the soil. It used to eat the soil. As the soil goes inside the intestine, it has the digestive system. All the systems are the digestive system and respiratory system, then circulatory system, nervous system. All these systems are there in the earthworm. As the soil passes through the digestive system, it will mix with the digestive enzymes and all the microorganisms present in the soil get digested, and the rest of the soil is pushed out through anus. That soil is more fertile. So that is why it is called as friend for the farmers. Next one is Arthropoda. Arthropoda is again all the organisms which have jointed legs are kept under arthropods. Okay, and these jointed legs, these arthropods will have jointed legs and the body is covered by chitinous plates. If the chitinous plates are thick, they are kept under crustaceans. If the chitinous plates is thin, they are kept under insecta. Okay, and crustaceans, they have jointed legs, the body is covered with prawn. This is an example for crustacean. Crab, example for crustacean. And if you take insecta, all the insects, mosquito, flies and dragonfly, butterfly, all these will come under insecta. They are also having jointed legs, the body is segmented and they have wings and legs for movement. Okay, so that's the difference. The next phylum is Mollusca. The body is soft, not segmented, and it is covered by a smooth shell. It's covered by a thick shell. Here chitinous plates only. Here it is covered by thick shell. And it moves with the help of the tube feet. Okay. Pearl oyster also will come under Mollusca. The body is thin, the body is moist, soft, it is kept inside a smooth shell. Next comes the last invertebrates, Echinodermata. Echinodermata, most of the echinoderms are marine, they live in the ocean. Starfish is an example for echinoderm. Here it shows radial symmetry. Here asymmetry. Okay, here radial symmetry. The body can be divided into many number of equal parts. Okay, at any plane. So it is radial symmetry. The body is covered by, it also has a soft body. It is covered by calcareous shell, spiny calcareous shell. Here smooth, here spiny, and it has a dorsal surface and ventral surface. The ventral surface, it has grooves. Through the grooves, a number of tube feet will come out. So when it moves, with the help of the tube feet, it will be moving. It seems as though a star is moving in the ocean, in the water. Okay, that's why it is called as starfish. So this will come under Echinodermata. All these are invertebrate. They do not have the backbones. But on the basis of the body cavity, on the basis of the body covering, they are kept in different phyla like Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Echinodermata. Okay. So next we are going to see vertebrates. Vertebrata, all the animals which have the backbone are called vertebrates. They are called as chordates. The chordates will be having the vertebral column. Okay, and some organisms, the vertebral column will not be covered by bones. Some organisms it is covered by bones, bony. Okay, so vertebral column covered with bony structure, backbone will come under vertebrata. So this vertebrata is further divided into 5 phyla. First one, Pisces. All the organisms, all the animals which have the backbone, which live in water, are kept under Pisces. Here the body is divided into head, trunk, tail. The body is covered with scales and they move with the help of the fins. They breathe with the help of the gills. And there are two types of it, cartilaginous fish and bony fish. I already told you the vertebral column will be covered by cartilage. Those will come under cartilaginous fish. Shark canal will come under cartilaginous fish. And bony fish, the backbone, the vertebral column will be covered with strong, fully covered with bones. Okay, so bony vertebral column will come under bony fish. So all fish will come under this Pisces. All these are the characteristic features. Body is streamlined body, and body is divided into head, trunk and tail. It moves with the help of the fins. Body is covered by scales, and it has external nostrils. It breathes with the help of the gills. In cartilaginous fish, the gills will be seen, whereas bony fish it is covered by a plate called the operculum. This is called operculum. Okay. So all these are the characteristic features of Pisces. All the animals which have these characteristic features are kept under Pisces. The next comes amphibia. All the animals which have the backbone, which can live in water as well as on land, are kept under amphibia, amphibians. According to their habitat, they got the adaptations. Frog is an amphibian, and in order to live in the water as well as on the land, the body is covered with thin moist skin. There are 3 types of respiration seen in frog: pulmonary respiration, cutaneous respiration, buccal respiration. So to lead the life in both water and on land, the body is covered with thin moist skin. So through skin also it respires. The body is divided into head and trunk, no tail. It has 4 limbs and hind limbs, a pair of forelimbs and pair of hind limbs. It has external nostrils, buccal cavity, upper jaw and lower jaw. The eyes are covered with another membrane called nictitating membrane. This nictitating membrane helps the frog to see in the water. Okay, that is one of the adaptations. And tympanum, eardrum is seen here. Okay, so all these characteristics, the organisms which have backbones with these categories are kept under amphibia. Next comes reptilia. Reptiles. All the reptiles, they have the backbones and they live on land. Garden lizard, I take it down. Garden lizard is a reptile. The body is covered with thick skin. Here thin skin, here scale, thick skin with spiny projections. And body has head, divided into head, neck, trunk, tail. It has 4 limbs and hind limbs. And here in amphibians, to lead the amphibious life, here if you see the hind limbs, they are webbed feet in order to swim in the water. Whereas here the digits are not joined by the web-like structure, and it has a long tail. Then the body covering is thick. Here the body cover is thin. Okay, so all these characteristic features will come under reptilia. Next comes apes. All the birds, the body is covered with fully feathers. The body is divided into head, neck, trunk, tail. The forelimbs are modified into wings. Forelimbs and hind limbs are helpful for locomotion. And with the help of the tail, it changes its direction. Its pointers, in order to fly, it lives in air. Most of the time it spends in air. In order to fly in air, it has bones, hollow bones. Okay, so the bones are pneumatic bones are seen in birds. And if you take the respiratory system, the lungs of the birds also, it has 4 cavities, 4 chambers, the lungs, and filled with air sacs. So with the help of these air sacs, they can breathe in the high altitude. So all these categories, if they are kept under his body covering feathers, body divided into head, neck, trunk, tail. Forelimbs are modified into wings. Hind limbs and forelimbs are helpful for locomotion. Then they are viviparous. They lay eggs. Okay, and this one also lay eggs. All these are laying eggs. If you take mammalia, they give birth. All the animals which have backbone give birth the young ones. Viviparous are kept under mammalia. The mammalia characteristic features: the body is covered with skin. The skin has hair. Hair in the skin. This is the characteristic features. Then here tympanum, here also tympanum, here tympanum, the eardrum. Here it has an external ear called pinna. Okay, and body has sweat glands as well as sebaceous glands. Then the body is divided into head, trunk, tail or without tail. We are also mammals only, we don't have tail. Okay, so forelimbs and hind limbs. Then these two have the fixed body temperature, so they will come under homeotherms, whereas all these are oikotherms. Okay, so on the basis of the laying eggs, all these are oviparous, this one is viviparous. On the basis of the temperature, all these 3 are oikotherms, these 2 are homeotherms. So all with these different categories, characteristic features, they are kept under different phylum: Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Like this, they have divided this vertebrata into different phylum. With this, we are finishing animal kingdom, classification of animal kingdom. Okay, bye.